Hello and welcome to Wellbeing Café. My name is Julia and thank you so much for joining. Today we'll focus on the shoulders, the back, and the psoas. For the practice, you may want to have a blanket or pillow and 2 blocks. We'll go ahead and get started. Gently close down the eyes and lengthen out through the spine, one long line from top of the head to base of the spine. Scan through the body and notice how you feel. Are there any areas of unease or tension in the mind or body? We'll begin the class with box breathing, where we inhale for a count of 4, hold at the top for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and hold at the bottom for a count of 4. Inhale. And exhale all of the air out of your lungs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Go through 2 more rounds of box breathing at your own pace. Once you've finished your 2 rounds of box breathing, feel into the body and notice if your energy is settled. When you're ready, gently blink open the eyes and make your way into tabletop position. Make gentle movements in the body, maybe going through cat-cows, or circling out through the hips. Maybe sitting back on the heels to stretch out the bottom of the feet. We are gently loosening up the body before we get into our longer holds. Once you're ready, find a static tabletop position, wrists underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Inhale, lower the belly, raise the gaze. Exhale, round through the spine, heels come to the hips. Option 2, take the knees out wide or keep them together. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, lower down to your depth. As always, an option here to place a blanket or pillow in between the hamstrings and the calves to lift up your seat, or to place a blanket or pillow underneath the chest. The arms can reach out long towards the top of the mat. Our second option is to bring the arms into prayer hand variation, palms together. Bend through the elbows, hands towards the base of the neck. Once you're here, you can walk the elbows forward. This will likely be a more intense stretch around the armpit area. Take your time setting up the pose. There's no need to rush, and we'll be here for about 2.5 minutes. We are meant to approach our edge in yin postures, so oftentimes they are not comfortable, but it's important to make sure that they are not painful either. If the postures ever become painful, know that you can lift out of the pose and readjust, maybe adding in a prop or removing one. Know that you have full permission on your mat to change as needed. Prepare your body to move from the pose. Slowly shift the weight into your elbows and then into your hands. Gently and slowly walk your hands back towards your torso. If your knees are out wide, gently lift the hips up and walk them underneath your body. From here, take any movements that feel good in your body to reintroduce blood flow into the shoulders and the hip area. Option to go through cat-cows and circle through the spine. It may feel nice to lift up into downward facing dog for a brief moment. Just make sure that you are not using too much effort here. Allow your movements to be intuitive. Once you're ready, find a static tabletop position. Option to come back into a deeper expression of wide-legged child's pose, or to walk the hands forward to your depth and slowly lower the chest towards the ground for puppy pose. Sits bones go high into the sky, the tailbone lifts. If you're in puppy pose or child's pose, you can bring the pillow underneath your chest. You can pad the knees. Wherever you are, allow yourself to relax. Notice where your mind wanders in this posture. Maybe here you invite your ocean breath, a calming breath made of deep inhales and audible ocean-like exhales. This breath is known as Ujjayi pranayama in our Yin style classes. Deep inhale. Engage the whisper muscles at the back of your throat. Exhale audibly. Allow this breath to soothe you during these intense poses. notice how you feel in this posture. Where do you feel the stretch? Where do you feel the tension in your body? Can you send your breath to these areas? Prepare your body to move from the pose. Shift the weight into your hands and slowly walk the hands back towards the thighs. Lift the chest up and bend through the knees. Lift the chest up and bring wrists underneath the shoulders. Once you're here, move intuitively through your body. Allow your body to be the teacher here. It often gives us the best counter poses after these holds, because the poses that feel good are the right counter poses. If your shoulders feel a bit tight after puppy pose, maybe you bring them into a bind behind your back. Maybe you interlace the fingers behind the back and pull the tops of the hands towards the ground, opening up through the chest. Always a wonderful option to invite gentle neck circles. Once you're ready, find a static tabletop position. You may want to locate your pillow and blocks here, bringing them slightly closer to your body for our next pose. Slowly lift the right knee off the ground and place it on the outside of the right hand. Toes angled towards the top right corner of the mat. To bring the ground closer to you, grab your blocks and place your hands on top. Tuck the left toes under and walk the left knee backwards to get to your desired depth. A great option here to place a pillow or blanket underneath the left knee. Option to keep the right leg out to the side for lizard pose, or to heel toe the foot underneath your shoulder for dragon. Hands can come to blocks or can come to the thigh. Take your time settling into this pose and notice where you feel the sensations. It's likely in the front side of your hip, in the psoas area, but it may also be in the lower back. Allow yourself to relax. If you are doing dragon flying high, see how you can bring yin energy to this posture to make it less engaged and more relaxed, allowing for deeper opening in the front side of the hip in the psoas. And know that you can always change the variation whenever you need to during our long holds. Notice how your body opens up with each inhale and exhale. If your hands are on the ground or on a block, and your wrists begin to feel a little bit sore, an option to make fists with the hands and hold from here. Prepare your body to move from this pose. Shift your weight into your left knee and press into your hands. Slowly lift the hips up. It is perfectly normal to feel pretty sore after this pose. It's a rather intense one. You may want to come into half splits. It's a great counter pose for dragon. An option to wave the front toes side to side to open up the right hip. Take any other movements that you need before we set up on the other side. Once you're ready, make your way back into a static tabletop position. Lift the left knee up and bring it to the outside of your left hand. Left toes angled towards the top left corner of the mat. Option to bring the blocks underneath your hands. Tuck your right toes under and walk your right knee back. At this point, you can place the pillow or blanket underneath your right knee for additional support. Stay here in our lizard variation, or heel toe your left foot underneath the left shoulder. Option to stay here with hands on blocks or the ground, or to come up to dragon flying high, hands interlaced on the top of the thigh. Take your time, settling into your variation. If you don't feel a stretch in this posture, try walking the back right knee backwards slightly and see if that changes the sensation. And if you feel too much in this posture, tuck the right toes under and walk the right knee slightly forward to lessen the intensity. Meet your body exactly where it's at today with no judgment. Acknowledge that you are on a journey. Prepare your body to move from this pose. Shift the weight into the palms of the hands and the back right knee, and slowly shift the hips back. Walk your hands backwards towards your right knee. Straighten out through the left leg. An option to wave the left foot side to side. Feel the nice opening in the hamstring and calf. Take any other movements that you need here. And once you're ready, slowly make your way back to tabletop position. Our next posture is called closed wing pose. This pose involves lying on the belly. So if this is not comfortable for you, option to come into seated closed wing pose. If you would like to come into closed wing pose on the belly, slowly make your way to the belly and rest your forehead on the ground. To come into seated closed wing pose, walk the knees forward and lower the hips down to one side. Swing the legs around and bring the soles of the feet to the ground with knees pointing towards the sky. Reach your arms out forward and then bring them out to the sides. Close your arms together, left under right, as if you're giving yourself a hug. And lean towards the tops of your thighs. The thighs may touch your forearms here, or maybe even closer to your wrists. Once you are here, gently allow the knees to fall open and feel a beautiful stretch in the sides of the shoulders and in between the shoulder blades. If you are coming into closed wing on your belly, locate one of your blocks and bring it to the front of your mat. Lift up into Sphinx pose. Angle the right elbow out slightly towards the front of the mat and place your weight into it. Engage gently through the back and stretch out your left arm. Thread it underneath the right armpit. And once you feel supported, thread the right arm across. An option here to place a block underneath your forehead. If there is a lot of space between your torso and the ground, and you feel this more in the lower back, an additional option to place a blanket underneath the torso to lessen the back bend. Wherever you are, allow yourself to relax. If your hands begin to feel numb in this posture, gently lift out. Return blood flow to the hands, and then come into seated closed wing. In yin postures, we are aiming to reach the deep connective tissues in our body and the fascia. This requires us to relax our muscles and allow our connective tissues and joints to know that they are safe and that they can relax here. Prepare your body to move from this pose. If you are on your belly, Shift the weight into your forearms and hands. Gently engage through the back. And walk your right elbow underneath your shoulder. Shift the weight into your right arm, and then walk the left elbow underneath your shoulder. Now bring your arms out to Sphinx. Gently rest your forehead on the mat or on your hands, and shake the hips a little left and right. Relax here. If you are in seated wing pose, bring the soles of your feet to the ground and draw the knees together. Slowly uncross your arms and come into any counter poses that feel good. A nice one might be to place the hands behind your hips, fingertips pointing towards your hips, and open up through the chest. You may want to straighten out one leg and then the other, and just shake them out. Allow your body to relax and feel good. If you would like to do seated closed wing pose on the left side, go ahead and rebend your knees, soles of the feet on the ground. Inhale, open up the arms wide, and exhale. Right arm comes underneath the left, as if you're giving yourself a hug. Bring the chest forward, the forearms or upper arms rest on the knees, and slowly open up the legs. Allow the knees to fall apart. If you would like to come into closed wing pose on the left side, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Gently engage the back and slowly lift up. Bring out the forearms to Sphinx pose. And angle the left elbow towards the top of the mat. Shift your weight into the left elbow. Straighten out through your right arm. Thread the right arm underneath the left armpit. And once you feel stable here, bring your left arm across. Option to rest the head on a block or to place a pillow underneath the torso. Allow yourself to relax here and feel the opening of the back and shoulders. Prepare your body to move from this pose. If you are on your belly for closed wing, shift the weight into your elbows and forearms and gently engage the back. Slowly lift your chest up and walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. Maybe taking a pause in Sphinx pose. Once you're here, walk your hands underneath your shoulders and slowly lower your head to the floor. Maybe you rest one cheek on your palm and shake the hips from side to side. Take any movements that feel good, maybe bending through the legs. If you are in closed wing pose, slowly bring the soles of your feet back to the ground and draw the knees together. Open up your arms. Maybe you reach up overhead and then down to the sides. Take any movements that feel good and listen to your body. We have two options for our last long hold of the class. The first one is to come into Sphinx pose, and the second one is to come into supported fish. If you are comfortable being on your belly and you want to do Sphinx pose, slowly lift your head and walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. Play with the width between the feet. If you bring them out wider, it might release some tension from the lower back. Option to bring a blanket underneath the hips as well. And bring the hands to touch and allow your body to relax and your head hang heavy. Take your time getting into this pose. If you would like to get into supported fish pose, locate your blocks. Place one in the middle of your mat on the tall side, and the second one perpendicular to the first one at about the spot where your shoulder blades will be. Bring your glutes to the floor and the soles of the feet out in front. Slowly lower yourself onto the block, with the shoulder blades touching the first block and the head resting on the one behind. Take your time setting up this pose and ensure that there is no pain, especially in the neck region. Palms of the hands can face towards the ceiling. The feet can stay planted on the ground, or the soles of the feet can come to touch. Option to put blocks underneath the knees for extra support, or to support them with the hands. Wherever you are, allow your body to relax. Prepare your body to move from the pose. If you're in Sphinx pose, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and slowly lower down to your forehead. Stay here and shift the hips from side to side to release tension from the lower back. And find any other movements that feel good in your body. If you are in supported fish, slowly lift up your head. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet back to the ground and walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. And then shift to your hands and slowly lift up. Remove your props and stretch your legs out in front of you. And find any other movements that feel good in your body. Maybe some cat-cows. And bending and rebending the legs. And whenever you're ready, slowly make your way to your glutes. And stretch out both legs towards the top of the mat. Shake out your legs. And draw the right knee into the chest. Rock your hip from side to side. And then plant the right foot on the outside of the left thigh. Hug your knee into your chest. And open up your right arm for seated twist. Fingertips can plant on the ground or the hand. Lengthen through the spine and twist a little deeper. You can stay here, hugging the knee to the chest, or bring your left elbow to the outside of the right knee to twist even deeper. If you would like to come into a bind, straighten out through the left hand, rotate the thumb towards the ground, bend through the elbow and thread the needle. Shift the weight into your glutes and lift your right arm off the ground. Rotate the thumb downwards and bend through the elbow. The hands may touch here, and if they do, clasp both of the hands together or reach for the hand. Wherever you are, allow yourself to relax and twist deeper. No need to reach your edge here. We are simply neutralizing the spine out before we come into Savasana. Deep inhale and exhale. Slowly unwind. Hug the right knee into the chest and then send it out long. Shake out through the legs. Bend through the left knee and hug it into the chest. Rock the hip from side to side. Plant the left sole of the foot on the outside of the right thigh. Hug your knee into your chest. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale, left arm reaches up. And exhale, twist open to the back of the mat. Hug the knee into the chest. Or bring the right elbow to the outside of the left leg. An option again to try out the arm bind by straightening out the right arm, rotating the thumb towards the ground, bending through the right elbow and threading the needle. Shift the weight into the glutes and bring the left arm off the ground. Rotate the left thumb downwards and bend through the elbow. Hold onto the hand if they can touch. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, twist. Deep inhale, exhale, unwind. Hug the left knee into the chest and send it out long. Bend through both knees and slowly lower down to the ground. Hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side, massaging out the back. Option to lift the head up to the knees and squeeze as if you're giving yourself a huge hug. Deep inhale, squeeze, and exhale, send the legs out long and the hands out to the sides, palms face up. Allow yourself complete relaxation in our final posture, Savasana. Bring awareness to your face. Can you release tension from this space? Gentle awareness to your throat. Release tension. Your torso, arms, hands, hips, thighs, calves, and feet. Bring gentle awareness to your entire body. Release tension. Option to pause the video here to stay in Shavasana for a longer period of time. Or slowly begin to invite movement to the fingers and toes. Circle out through the wrists and ankles. Arms reach high overhead for one last full body stretch. Bend through one knee and then the other, soles of the feet on the ground. And slowly make your way to your favorite side. And when you're ready, slowly lift up to seated. Eyes remain heavy. Inhale, arms reach high overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. Gently blink open the eyes and take in the space around you. Thank you so much for joining for this yin practice. I hope you enjoyed the class, and if you liked it, please subscribe. We'll be coming out with new videos each and every week, and we'd love to see you here again as a member of the Wellbeing Café community. Have a beautiful rest of your day.